Howdy, everybody. If anything, you are seeing Black Mantis. And you're also seeing another episode of DC Universe Online. If anything, we are going to be doing a little bit of the Tide Wars. And we're, of course, doing that through the villain storyline. So we are going to be part of the Ocean Master side of things. Really, with this Tide War, whether you're kind of on the villain side or the hero side, kind of the same things apply for the things that you have to do. I recently did the hero side of things for this story, so I know what is what. So let's go on. I get to be with Ocean Master, play the villain side of it. So let's get on with that. Or Tides of War, not Tide War. Yeah, if anything, I think it's kind of funny for a lot of people that like they'll agree with me on this.
The effort to dethrone my brother is ongoing. Assist me and secure your place in my kingdom.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see if I could go in the water at some point of this, and yeah, not so much. I think for you to go and be in Atlantis, I think I went through and checked if I could go to Atlantis. Supposedly you can only do that once you hit level 33 in-game, which I think for free-to-play players, I think you can only go to level 30 or something like that. I don't know, but here's where I try to, hey, can I go in the water? No. So I was like, oh, okay. It's like, that is the ground there. It's weird, but it's kind of funny. But anyways, it's kind of funny, and a lot of people will agree with me, that a lot of times you have no clue of what actually to do with these levels.
The time is now. Get back out there.
So a lot of times you're just kind of like, what am I doing? Where am I supposed to go?
Ocean Master rewards his proven allies.
Because really, you're not given any kind of like cutscene to tell you, okay, well, yeah, you go on the Aquaman boats, which are yellow, and fight whatever is there. Then you also have to come back to the Ocean Master boats to also fight the Aquaman Atlantean people that are coming onto those boats. So again, they don't tell you a lot of that stuff. It's just like, you just gotta consistently play and figure it out, which is just like, oh, okay, that's interesting, but yeah, it's a little frustrating because you have to experiment to find things out. But I guess it's just like, well, yeah, that's what, like, if you go on YouTube, that's what tutorials are for. That's what, like, if you subscribe to probably the DC Universe Online YouTube thing, they'll probably have a video showing what the heck this is. But I'm subscribed to their channel because realistically, I'm like, I want to see like what updates they're doing in game. A lot of times this is kind of fun to actually legitimately see like updates that are done in game. Like I watched one of their videos where they talked about how Zatanna, one of the magician characters, she was progressively changed through the game. So they had like a side-by-side like picture of how she used to look and how they updated once they kind of were able to. So it's like, hey, this is how she looks now, and looks vastly different than what she did before. And I think probably eventually once, or probably has already happened, when DC Universe Online actually goes to Nintendo Switch, there's probably going to be some kind of, still some updating and upgrading and stuff like that. Like, I'm sure the game is consistently still going to be changing until ultimately they just decide to eventually actually legitimately do a sequel for this game. Which I'll be happy when they do a sequel, because there's just a lot of story aspects or whatever that to this day just kind of bug me. Like, oh my god, another Brainiac story. We haven't had that enough. We haven't had a Brainiac story enough in DC Universe Online. Or DC as a whole. When you look at the video game Injustice 2 Brainiac story, when you look at God, what was it? There was a Superman movie that came out. It was like Superman. I think it was kind of like a story about like Superman Unbound or something like that. It was the Superman movie that came out after Superman versus the Elite. The one that came after that is called Superman something, and it was about Superman and Brainiac. I'm like. I'm like, man, I'm just like, and I would watch like the original Justice League cartoons, and of course Brainiac came up a lot, and just like every story that they would have some kind of team up or something like that with Superman. Guess who would usually be involved? Either it'd be Lex Luthor or it'd be Brainiac. I'm like, man, like, if we could please, for everything, just involve somebody different. Like, the one thing that I hated the most, about a lot of DC stuff is usually the top tier villains would always get used, way too much. Specifically in cartoons, but specifically just, everywhere. They would just be used everywhere. Like, how many animated movies have we had for Batman that have Joker incorporated in the animated story? Tons. Even if really the Joker isn't the main attraction, he's still used. Even when it was the episode of, or the kind of like the DVD side thing when the Batman came out, and it was like Batman versus Dracula. Joker was still involved, and so on and so forth. I think I'm heavily like talking about how immersive that I've been watching all this stuff, but like I've really been involved in all these things, and I know a lot about it, and I've really invested a lot into it because visuals were great to have. A lot of great visuals that I've had so far through the journey of this superhero way of doing things. Yeah, but if I had mentioned before, so I just did one recording of DC Universe Online, and eventually my life just becomes a blur. If you guys would like to donate $1 or a dime to PayPal for DLC or exclusive content, or just a shout out or whatever, you guys can feel free to go ahead and do that. But again, I say it every episode, but I don't want to push. It's just there. But yeah,
safer once you've been banished.
the more in the one good thing about this game, though, the more and more I get deeper into this story, the more and more I want to play it longer, which becomes a problem when you only want to try to record for a small window of time, which is, I guess, 30 minutes would, I guess, be a small window of time to me. It's kind of tough when you just want to just continue to play, and then you're just like, like, the story's getting really good, the story's getting better every time I play this. There's certain characters that, as a villain, you kind of get a little excited to beat up, let's just say, especially because a lot of people have their favorites, and a lot of people have their people that it's just like, man, if I could give this character, if I had the power enough to give this character, or skill enough to give this character just a good old slap in the face. Like, I would love to be able to just kind of deck this character, because this character is either annoying, or I didn't understand why they got their own this, or like this character was never really relevant, but why is this character getting their own series still to this day, and so-and-so isn't, and yada yada yada. I don't know. Definitely you're gonna see in the future episodes some of the stuff that I'm talking about. I think in this one we're gonna get some really interesting story, and I'm kind of happy about that, because really I was just like, for this one it's like, oh man, Atlantis, I can do some Atlantis stuff. I can involve an Ocean Master and Aquaman. To be brutally honest, I didn't really enjoy the Aquaman live action film, because really, again, for me, I only really like the animated DC stuff. Of course, seeing Throne of Atlantis and really enjoying that, because really it's based off the comic books. Probably everything that I like from DC Universe is all pretty much in their books, rather than in their live action stuff, or live action adaptations. I don't know, I would love to see a live action movie and just be blown away and just like, man, this is good. I just, like, I've just kind of pulled away from all that, and just like, man, it would be great to, like, I still would like to see Ninja Batman. That would be one exciting thing to actually get to see. I think Batman and Ninja Turtles, everybody enjoyed that. Everybody thought that was fun. So
at this rate, Ocean Master will be getting fitted for his shiny new crown within weeks. Check back with him tomorrow. His forces might need some shoring up. Yeah, that just happened.
yeah, so I definitely have heard positive feedback about that. So, but again, once you have a DC animated film,
Good. You're on the job.
a lot of those are.
It seems patients at my metahuman wing at Metropolis General Hospital are resisting Dr. Psycho's experimental treatment. But work on the metahuman brain is at a crucial stage. I don't need this interruption or the publicity. Put down the riot and retrieve my test subjects.
A lot of those are good. Ping in. I know there's something else coming. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Because I believe somebody was going to talk to us and kind of threaten us a little bit. Ooh, I'd be shaking in my boots, but yeah. Really, one thing that I want to mention, it's kind of funny to me. You know how much I consistently had talked about us having Green Lantern as a mentor for the hero side of things? Or just maybe sometimes I mentioned it in passing on here. Really, it is kind of hilarious to me because realistically, the guy that ends up doing the voice for Superman in this game is actually the exact same actor. His name is Baldwin from Firefly and a lot of Castle and a lot of stuff Nathan Fillion did. He's a Baldwin. Yeah. Anyways, he actually did on one episode of Justice League. I don't know if it's Unlimited or just regular Justice League. He did the voice for Hal Jordan in one of the episodes. It was the one where it was Batman Beyond and Batman Together. He did the voice for Hal Jordan for a very brief time. And I was just like, well, here's the guy that did the voice for Hal Jordan. And he's here doing the voice for Superman. Why not have Superman not be in this game, and instead we're gonna get Green Lantern mentoring people, but because Green Lantern is, I think a lot of people love that character so much more so than Superman. Here's the thing here, I'm going to be right here. This was a mission done in progress. Here is why I I only did that one aspect of it, and then you saw that one side mission just be done. I was offered that league that I talked about in the other video. That is actually when I was offered that league position here. And yeah, this thing. And after that, I started hearing like chatter from other players, and like that chatter was something that I was just gonna have like in the background, but then just while like people were talking, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna shut the chat off, and then I'm just going to start recording and just kind of finish this level up, and then just kind of go about my way, because really it's just there was some stuff about the way people go about their business, which is completely fine, and languages that people use, which is completely fine, but I have to do a YouTube channel, so yeah. So yeah. Ultimately, I just decided yeah, I'm just gonna turn the chat, the voice chat off, and if somebody wants to partner up with me and whatever, and they have voice chat and whatever, great. I'll have the, for somebody that wants to team up with me and has voice chat and whatever, I'll have that overlaying on a video, but yeah, it's just, like, basically that's what I kept doing, for that one side mission, just gathering up these people and just chucking them in here. I don't know why I kept doing it, but like I kept, like, I don't know, I just kind of like, I was like, well, like, I already did this side mission, it's over with, but like, maybe I'll get extra XP from just doing all this stuff.
You're hurting me.
But yeah, but yeah, hopefully eventually, it would be great to be able to get every recording out and whatever, so much more quicker, and just to not have some limitation on something and be like, oh yeah, I can just easily just do these recordings, get them out quick and whatever, and
Chief Researchers Journal, one of our most valuable samples.
Back off.
It really speaks to me.
okay, but eventually, that will happen someday, but
Oh, it's on now.
it is what it is now. It's,
You want some of this? I'm not afraid of you.
I hope the heroes kicked your ass.
Doctor!
I gotta subdue 8 more patients. I gotta be patient about trying to find all these people. It's so funny how, like, there's so many of these levels when I have to find a specific character, like a detective or a someone that you don't have as much stuff in on the map as other things. You're just kind of like, God, I've been like doing donuts and circles around this place, but freaking where is this character? And then you end up going like further down the road randomly for some reason, and then there they are, and it's like, God dang it, like I had to go all the way down here
Leave me alone, you crazy little man.
to randomly find this person, so I could deck them or absorb them or whatever, and I did. But anyways, God, now I'm backtracking. There was, I don't know if it was on this episode or the last episode, but I saw, I was talking and I was saying, I was like, yeah, I saw a freaking Parasite and I just went crazy. If people don't know, Parasite is a freaking legitimate freaking powerhouse. And I really enjoy, a really good Parasite story. Because, of course, if you guys don't know, Parasite is a character that if Parasite is actually in the vicinity of a powerful superhero like a Superman or maybe Martian Manhunter, Parasite just kind of absorbs that same power set, and basically, like, they did like a whole like Justice League episode of it once where like it just got down to like a whole like team of people had to take Parasite down because he just kept like he just kept taking all their powers and making it into his own. So
Over here. Naturally, the Daily Planet got wind of this little misunderstanding. We need to block all communications in or out. Take out any patients attacking the jamming devices on the hospital roof. Freedom of the press only goes so far.
So yeah, I was really psyched about seeing Parasite in the game. It's like, yeah, Parasite, it's freaking awesome. And if you guys even from what I told you, like, want to know more, definitely check Parasite out if you can. Find any issues of, like, probably Parasite is probably one and the only, probably, like, Superman, Superboy, Super whatever, villain that I actually like. Probably compared to maybe Lobo, that is kind of tied into like Superman a lot. Like Parasite and Lobo are probably the only two like Superman villains that when I hear there's an episode about those characters, I kind of get excited because like visually and or power wise, it's going to be a really cool episode or movie or whatever. I heard that Krypton season 2 or whatever has Lobo in it, but I'm not excited for another Superman show, and I haven't heard really exciting things about Krypton. I heard that they are thinking about possibly doing a Lobo spin-off, which I'm kind of excited about, but I'm sure that'll probably end up on probably the DC Universe network thing. Yeah, I'm not a subscriber to or whatever, because, yeah, I'm just not. But yeah, there's some things on that that are that look interesting. I just am not going to.
The flow of information is back in our hands. Show the press and my patients what happens when they try to break a story without my permission.
At the current time, subscribe to that. I heard Titans is pretty good. Doom Patrol looks visually really interesting. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It said destroy news vans, and like, what the heck is this? It looks like you can destroy it, but I was like, what is this? Yeah! I destroyed a hydrant. Yeah, if anything, again, for these levels, I think a lot of times you get, alright, picking up where we left off. Yeah, the recording, since I'm doing double tapings, just kind of, cut off, so I kind of had to, dump a lot of stuff to just record for probably about like 5 more minutes, and to get this taping done, so hope for the best. Yeah, so the news vans, I was like, what the heck did the news vans look like? Because every time I would look for a news van, everyone like was taking care of them, was destroying them, so I didn't even get to see what they actually looked like. So I'm like, where are these news vans and what do they look like? Where am I supposed to find these things? But I ended up finding out that I was like, oh, well, just around the bend there was an actual news van that I could actually destroy and whatever. And then I saw that thing, I was like, oh, I can take this down, great. I see this here, now I know what the news vans look like, because otherwise I would have known what the news vans look like. Yeah, at least it's not like that one mission that I tried to do back over again, where it took me like an hour to find like 3 or 4 like people to give an antidote to. And also it's like flying around for an hour just going, man, can I just please just oh, somebody was trying. Too bad, buddy. I saw first.
I'm not afraid of you. Run, run.
Probably didn't see these vans over here now, did you, buddy? I don't know, for a lot of these costumes and a lot of the villains and heroes that I've kind of just met just sporadically through all of this, it kind of has been really interesting to see what people come up with. Some people really go the extra mile and everything like that to really do their characters up, and then some people just kind of plop things down. But I guess on maybe not this episode, but then the next episode, we're probably gonna get really back into story. It seems like a lot of this episode and the last episode were just a bunch of just side missions or just a bunch of kind of like extra little tasks or whatever, and but eventually in the more episodes we're really gonna get into more story, and we're gonna get into more interesting looking levels. It'll be pretty interesting. I'm just bogged down by so many freaking side missions that it's just waiting to get all these side missions done so that way we can get to the real thing of why we're here. is to meet some to play up against some interesting characters that are part of the story. If one thing for kind of like the hero side, I really like I really like the stories for the hero side, like from beginning to wherever. I really like the hero stories. Like I think for
Jamming technology is good, Lex, but not good enough. Supergirl's in your so-called hospital wing to shut it down permanently. Bring you and these allies of yours to justice.
yeah, death to Superman.
Ignore Superman. My lawyers will clear us of all blame. However, how convenient that he sent Supergirl. Get inside the hospital and use kryptonite to get a sample of her DNA. Oh, and retrieve Dr. Psycho so he can explain this debacle.
Yeah, you heard it, Supergirl. Yeah, so in the next episode, we are going to be going up against a Kryptonian, Supergirl. Too bad it's not Superboy. I'm more of a Superboy fan, but it is what it is. Really, honestly, it would make a lot more sense if it was Superboy. Supergirl honestly just feels out of place in this story, but it is what it is. Because really, with how Superboy was basically created by Lex, or scientifically created, you would think that he would try to prevent any scientific stuff trying to modify or change people or whatever. And he would fit so much better than Supergirl would, but it is what it is. Maybe we'll get a Superboy story along the line. But yeah, next episode we're going to give Supergirl a run for her money. And yeah, so I'm gonna get out of here. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.